here's my full monthly planning process where I reflect, set goals, and plan for the month ahead. In my previous monthly plan with me videos, I have shown you only the planning portion of my monthly process using my Hobonichi Cousin. And in this video, I thought that I would show you the full process to help you start thinking about how you can create a simple monthly process to stay focused on your goals and the vision for your life, and how you can use your planner and your journals as tools to help you create your dream life. I will also be creating a more detailed guided video that you can follow along and do the same monthly planning process as me, but in this video I wanted to show you in real time to share with you the overall process that I use every single month to set new goals and plan for the month ahead. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Seppi and I share with you simple and practical tips to live a happier life. And I created the inspired goal setting process where I set and achieve meaningful and inspired goals beyond goals that are like making more money, losing weight, etc. We're talking about more deeper, meaningful, empowering goals that connect and align with your values and your highest self. And every single month, the 3-step process that I follow to plan and set goals for the month ahead are: firstly, doing a monthly review. Step 2 is setting goals and creating for the vision for the month ahead. And step 3, using my planner to plan and organize myself for the month ahead. Each step has a different purpose that I will talk about as I go through it and show you in real time what I'm doing. This is probably going to be a longer video than usual, so if you want to skip ahead to a specific section or a specific step, then I have included the timestamps, and like I said, I will be making a more detailed guided walkthrough that you'll be able to follow along if this process resonates with you and if you want to try it out. So make sure to leave a like, that way I know how many of you are interested in learning more about this monthly goal setting process. So let's get into the monthly process that I follow. Step 1 is a monthly overview, and I use my daily journal to do this. When I do my monthly reflections, the first thing that I like to do is to look back at my previous journal entries to see what was going on. What was I writing about? How was it feeling? What was going on? Because I like to reflect on things that might have happened throughout the month, things that I learned, things I accomplished, things I experienced. So looking back at my journal entries kind of helps me refresh my memory to remember what was going on throughout the past month so I can kind of reflect. Ultimately, the purpose of the monthly self-reflection is to check in with myself, to see where I'm at, how far I've come, so that I can have a better understanding of how I want to move forward. If you want to figure out the missing pieces in your life, the things you want to change, the self-reflection process is crucial because it allows you to take a step back and look at everything and get a better sense of what small changes you can make to move forward. And I find that having a routine around my self-reflection really valuable to make sure that I'm always doing the inner work. It also makes it a lot less overwhelming instead of doing kind of a yearly self-reflection, which I also do. Doing it in bite size, doing some daily journaling if I have any thoughts or anything's going on, doing a weekly self-reflection or weekly small check-in, and then doing a monthly self-reflection as well, helps me make sure that I'm consistently doing a self-reflection to check in with myself, see what's going on, and make small adjustments as time progresses. Some questions that I reflect on are: how do I feel? What challenges did I overcome this month? How did I overcome them? What do I feel most proud of? What changes did I experience? What changes do I want to make moving forward? What helped me this month and what wasn't helpful? What do I want to let go of moving forward? This gives you a good framework on the next steps, the next changes, the next goals you can set for yourself. Because I want you to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't have to be this grandiose, big thing. It can happen through small, incremental changes, and the self-reflection step is the part of the process that allows you to figure out what are the changes you should be making in your life. If you want a short guided journaling session where I walk you through a few simple prompts to help you reflect on the last month, Check out my Journal With Me playlist where I guide you through different journaling themes, including a simple monthly self reflection and goal setting. That way, you can practice a little bit more concretely what I'm talking about. Now that I've done my self-reflection, I like to move into my bullet journal that I use for my goals, but also as a creative journal. I like to do a creative spread every single month and then set goals, write a vision for the month ahead. The last few months I haven't been consistent with that, but I used to do that every single month. So I'm excited to get back into it. So creating a spread for November and then creating kind of a vision board, a vision, setting goals for the month ahead. And the way that I do my creative spreads is that I look through Pinterest if I need some inspiration. If not, I look at my stationery and pull out the things that feel inspiring. I like to first think of the color that I like to use. So this month, I feel as though I want to do something a little bit more deep blue, kind of purples, a little bit more celestial vibes because it is my birthday month and I feel excited going into this new year of my life. I feel like I've had a lot of shifts lately, so I feel like I want to get inspired by that. So I pulled some washi tape that felt exciting to me. Some of the colors, doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them, but I like to start pulling colors and markers and then washi tape and then any additional things like stickers that I have, additional paper that I like to use. So this is how I kind of get my inspiration going when it comes to making creative spreads. So this month, my thought process is to do a creative spread on this side and then do a vision board on this side. I also already went on Pinterest and I saved a few pictures for my vision board. So I pulled some pictures that feel really just inspiring and just kind of align with what I want to bring in next month. So I'm going to print those in my mini printer as well. So create a little vision board with some words of affirmation on this side and creating a creative spread on this side. So I'm going to do that without talking just so I can focus, and I will create a fast forward view of how I do that. That way you can still get a sense of how I make my creative spreads and you can see the full walkthrough. So let's get into it. Before even getting into the nitty-gritty and setting goals, it's important to connect to the emotions and feelings behind what you're trying to achieve, because ultimately, when we set goals for ourselves, it's actually an emotion we are seeking to experience. Think about it. If you want to lose weight, for example, then maybe underneath that, you want to feel confident. You want to have more energy. You want to be healthy. Maybe you want to look good and feel good in your body. You want to draw attention and respect maybe. Digging deeper and understanding the real reasons why you want to achieve a goal will help you connect to the more meaningful side of your goals, which will be a more inspiring source of motivation to keep you going. And to connect to those emotions, creating a vision board and writing a vision is a crucial part of the goal setting process, which is what I teach in my inspired goal setting process. Think about questions like, how do I want to feel? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up every day? What energy do I want to have? What energy do I want to emanate? How do I want to show up for myself? How do I carry myself? What are my dominant thoughts and emotions? What do I focus my thoughts and my energy on? By asking yourself these questions, by focusing on how you want to feel, you will create a more inspiring and meaningful vision for your goals that is a lot more easy to connect to, and it will be a lot easier for you to stay motivated and inspired as you're starting to work towards achieving those goals. So I finished making my spread off camera just to make it a little bit shorter. I didn't want the video to be too long either. Then I also printed some pictures for my vision board for the month ahead. So what I do is I generally go on Pinterest. So I have a vision board on my Pinterest. I went and I scrolled and I saved the pictures that felt I was drawn to, and then I looked up a few more, pinned a few more, printed them off on my mini Canon IV, and that kind of helped me figure out. I already had a general idea of the goals that I have for this month, but seeing the pins that I chose and the pictures that I was drawn to helped me kind of narrow it down that I really want to zero in on my health this month. Long story, but I just want to make sure that I'm prioritizing my health and resting and doing all the things that I need to do to feel better. So I like to also write a quick vision in terms of how I want to feel, who do I want to be, how I want to show up, the adjectives and sentences and affirmations and things that help me reinforce the vision that I have for my goals, who I want to be, etc., and what I want to create and experience every single day. So I'm going to use these pictures to do a vision board and then see how I can include a vision for the month as well. I have to decide how I'm going to do that in terms of the spread, but that's what I'm going to do now. So I like to create a vision board and also write a vision where I describe how achieving my goal will feel. This month, for example, my goal is around my health and overall well-being so that I can feel more energetic, I can feel like I have the ability to focus and enjoy life and work on my business and do creative things that I enjoy. I also use images from Pinterest that evoke the same emotions and feelings so that when I look at my vision board, my brain and heart are triggered and reminded of what I'm trying to create every day. By having a clear vision and then having a clear vision board as well, this will help redirect your subconscious mind to make better choices every day of your life so that you can show up for yourself to achieve your goals. So, if you're interested in doing the same, here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to reflect on the following prompts. How do I want to feel? And really get specific on the feelings, sensations, emotions, anything that really evokes a strong feeling within you. How do you want to feel around your goal? Then, who do I want to be? What is the ideal version of myself? What do they think about? How do they show up in their life every day? What are their habits? What are their dominant thoughts? What are their dominant emotions that they experience every day? I even want you to get specific. How do they carry themselves? How do they dress? How do they show up every day? How do they speak? Then the next question that I want you to reflect on is, what do I want to experience in my life? What are the things that I want to do, see, visit, experience, feel, have? The more detailed and compelling your answer, the better it is. After you reflected on the prompts that I just mentioned and you have written a vision for yourself, I want you to go on Pinterest or on Google and spend a little bit of time looking at different images and save pictures that represent this vision. You can then create a physical or digital vision board. Put the images, specific words, or sentences that describe your vision the best. If you go on Pinterest, you can always look up ideas of things that you want to create. So, health goals or travel goals. And then if you add the keyword aesthetic, it will bring up the most beautiful pictures. And if you click on one of the pictures, here's a little tip for you. If you click on one of the pictures that you like and you save it onto your board, if you scroll down, Pinterest will also recommend similar pictures to the one that you clicked on. That way it can kind of fall all under the same vibe and aesthetic that you're looking for. And make sure that the image you pick really evokes a strong sensation within you. And really keep in mind that this vision, the vision that you're writing, as well as the vision board and the images you pick, they really have to feel exciting to you. When you look at your vision board, when you read your vision, it has to evoke a deep sense of excitement, urge, and just general Again, excitement within you. You have to really feel it in your heart and kind of, when you get excited about something, you can feel it in your belly. That's what I want you to feel. And if it doesn't evoke that, then pick a better picture or pick stronger words for your vision. If you want to create a digital vision board that you can use on your phone or your computer or even your tablet or iPad, I have templates in my Etsy shop that I will leave the link for you in the description box. That way you can get started and have beautiful vision boards that you can see every single day for you to start creating your dream life and achieving your goals. A few tips when it comes to writing a vision, and this comes before you setting actual goals. First, you want to be clear on what is it that you're trying to create in your life and how do you want to feel. So a few tips are using really strong language and terms and adjectives to describe what you want to create and how you want to live and how you want to feel. Another tip is to write it in the present tense as if it has already happened, such as I am living every day in an intuitive way, making my inner child feel safe, happy, seen, and heard and taken care of, and I love myself wholly as I am, because that tricks the mind into believing that it has already happened. And then at the same time, you want to make sure that you're getting clear on specific things that you want to do, such as taking care of my body in ways that feels good and aligned, making choices from a place of self-love, patience, and compassion. So you want to create a vision that feels compelling, exciting, that you get excited when you see these images and these words and these sentences, that if you achieve these things, you feel really good and happy about how you are living your life aligned with your values. So that is step 2 of my monthly process. Making a beautiful spread that feels inspiring, creating a vision board, which I don't always do, but this month I felt like I really wanted to, and then writing a vision for your goals and your priorities for the month ahead. For myself, this month, my priority is my health, which is why I pulled images of someone just looking super relaxed, a shower, some gua sha, sitting in bed reading with a matcha, journaling, getting fit and healthy, having some lemon water. I attract opportunities to my life. So these are the things that feel compelling to me, and that is my vision for this month. Now that I have a clear vision for the month ahead, so this is going to help redirect everything that I do for the month ahead when it comes to my choices with my habits, with how I schedule my week, how I do things, etc. Now I move on to step 3 of my monthly planning process, where I actually organize and plan everything in the month ahead. So I use the Hobonichi Cousin for my planner, for my monthly goals and everything else for my creative journal. I use the bullet journal from Leuchtturm, and then for my reflection and daily journaling, I use B6 hardcover line journal from Leuchtturm. And if you want to get any of the Leuchtturm products, you can use code HAPPY20 at checkout to get 20% off from the Leuchtturm Canada website. So let's get into the actual planning, the more concrete steps of what you need to do every single month to get organized. So the monthly planning process. So let's get into the Hobonichi Cousin to do my monthly planning. The first thing that I do or look at my habits. Based on my vision, I want to focus on my health, although I don't think my habits are going to change that much. So I use the year at a glance for my habits, and honestly, they kind of stay the same. The only thing is things like my morning and evening routine, I make sure they're detailed somewhere else where I have a little card on hand that I can see. So I think that I'm going to just make sure that I stick to the same morning and evening routine, but I am going to review those things. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. So morning routine and my evening routine, which are super important when it comes to my daily habits in terms of just feeling more centered and grounded. Water, I've been doing good with drinking water, so I don't know if I want to actually add it. Supplements are something that I want to add to remember. I've been taking a lot more magnesium, ashwagandha and stuff, so I want to make sure I stay on top of that. My steps, so I have not been able to do, in July I did really well with doing 15,000 steps. Last month, my goal was just to get steps in. So this month, I think I'm going to set a goal of getting 12,000 steps to stretch myself a little bit more. The last few weeks, I have been able to do more. So that's going to be a big one. Then every single day doing some somatic movement to release trauma, and then intuitively eat. And the thing is that when it comes to your habits, you have to make sure that you are clear. So for myself, I have already taken the time to reflect, what does intuitive eating mean? What is my morning routine? What is my evening routine? Having a list of my supplements. So even though these are really key words here, because there obviously isn't a lot of space, I would encourage you to take the time to really define what each of those mean, when you're going to do the habit, and getting clear on all of those things, and to start small, because when you do too many habits, it becomes a little too complicated and you end up falling off the bandwagon. So focus on 1 to 3 key habits that will help have a positive impact on the rest of your life, and then make sure to define them very clearly, be very detailed with them, and that will make it a lot easier for you to implement. So morning routine, evening routine, supplements, steps, somatic movement, intuitive eat, and meditation. I think for now I'm going to leave it at that, because this is already a lot and I want to make sure that I leave it at that for now. I think I'm going to also this month aim to do more workouts, because I've been sick for the last 2 months. I haven't done any movement, but I'm not going to write it in just yet. I think what I'm going to do is write it in pencil at the bottom as a reminder for myself when I do my weekly planning, because I still want to see how I decide to do that. Maybe set a really small goal of 2 or 3 exercises for like 1 bar, 1 yoga or something like that, and just not make it too complicated. So that is step 1 of my planning process. And then I flip over into my monthly overview. So this is the part where I include some decorations as more specific planning. I took out these 3 washi tapes. I feel like I'm leaning more towards these 2, but I think at the bottom of the page, I will just add in some washi tape just because that is what I'm feeling. I try not to overthink things whenever possible, because I feel as though I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and I always want my pages to look a very aesthetic specific way, and I'm trying to step away from that to not be as much of a perfectionist and let go of control a little bit. So now I'm just feeling this color, so I'm just going to put this at the bottom, just add a little bit of zhuzh. If you want to learn how to create aesthetic spreads but in a very easy way that's not super elaborate, I have a separate video where I show you some tips on how simple ways you can decorate your journals and planners, especially if you're a beginner, to do it in a very efficient way. So small little touches you can add that will make a big difference. So I am going to continue and not overthink it, and I think I want to write in big over here. So this is October, then November starts on the 1st. So I think I want to add in big November. So let me just focus. Not crazy how that turned out, but it's fine. I also am perfectly honest, these Tombow dual brush pens are really popular. I don't know why I'm not crazy about them. I feel like my lettering doesn't turn out as nice when I do it with that. I feel like it's, I don't know, it's not up to par, and I'm not crazy about it, but it's fine. Let me just add some lettering on top of it to make it a bit cuter. A little touch, I actually think that it made a little difference. And let me add a few little doodles. I'm going to add some little stars. Simple little ways that you can make your page a lot more aesthetic. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add in birthdays and appointments. I like to color code these things just to make it easier visually. I only pulled out 1 colored pen, so let me see what else. Maybe I'll just do 2 different types of gel. So purple kind of matches with the blue theme. So the first thing, just bringing you in a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do the same thing is birthday. So I'm just going to do a little heart. This helps me color code into the schedule. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is appointments. I have to say the Muji gel pens are quite good in terms of just quality price. This is going to be it, I think. Bringing you back out, zooming out. So what I do throughout the month, if something is coming up, I write it in pencil in the month ahead. That way I know when I do my monthly planning, it'll be a lot easier for me to remember. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is going to be birthdays. I'm going to write in birthdays. I have a note in my phone with everyone's birthdays. So let me just write in the birthdays quick, and I'll be right back. So everyone's birthdays are entered. The next thing that I like to do is writing down my payday, just because it helps me remember on those days to pay for any things that I have to pay for credit cards or whatever else. I'm just gonna write it in a black gel pen this month, and I literally just put a $sign. It's not that complicated, just a little $sign. Then I want to go in and add appointments or things that are already scheduled. So there seems to be quite a bit going on. I think it's already the holiday season that's happening, so there's already a lot going on. I also have a pelvic ultrasound to check on my endometriosis, so that is on the 7th. So I'm going to write, so what I do is I like you saw, I put in, so my color coding is the pen, but it's also the little code, the little icon that I put. So I put a little star for appointments. So I have ultrasound and it's at 5:30. And then I know that afterwards, my colleagues also have a happy hour. I'm not sure I'll be able to make it, but I will try. There might be another happy hour with my other team on the Friday, but I'm not sure. I was thinking of going to New York City that weekend, but that's not going to happen. I just don't have the energy for it, and I really need to prioritize being home, resting. My therapy has been wonderful, but also extremely exhausting. So a lot of healing is happening, but it's also really tiring. And then this weekend, I'm lost. What day are we? Yeah. So next weekend, there is going to be a fun event at an animal sanctuary about an hour from here that I want to go to. So I'm going to write that in because it's pretty much organized that I'm going. Animal sanctuary, that's in the evening, but it's not a specific time. I might see my parents on Friday, but I'm going to leave it in pencil because I'm not sure. Same thing for the happy hour. And then my next therapy session, so my therapist is not here. Well, I think she's traveling or something this month. So I only have my next session on the 28th at 3 p.m. I think I wrote. So let me write that in. And that weekend, I'm also traveling, so I'm going to a wedding. So it's about a 7-hour drive from where I live in Montreal. So I'm going to put... So everything that I wrote in pencil is added in. So let me zoom you back out. There are a few days that are off this month, so I want to put that in marker. So I like to use a Mildliner. These are my favorite highlighters in terms of markers. The Mildliners, there's a big variety of colors, and there's the chisel nib as well as, sorry, I'm using the wrong one, and as well as just a marker nib. So I'm just going to put in the days that are off. So I have a long weekend there. I'm taking my birthday off. I'm also taking the Friday off. That's my gift to myself every year, is to take a day off. And then the Friday I'm going to my road trip, so I'm leaving that morning. So actually I'm going to write the whole thing because I'm gone that weekend, and I think on Monday I'll have off as well. So I have to check because I feel like I have more time off this month, but I can't remember. And I'm going to use my Muji gel pen in 0.5 in gray. I just write off. I don't write anything crazy. This is just kind of with time. I know what's what. So like the $sign, I know it's payday. And then I know that this means I have a day off. Like I said, I feel like I have more days off, but I have to check what I requested from work. And then I can, this annoys me. This is not aligned, but that's fine. So this is the monthly planning, and I think I'm going to leave it as is. I want to maybe add some more zhuzhing up. I think I'm going to add this gold washi tape. It's also my birthday month, which is very exciting. I am not sure what I'm doing. So the other thing, actually, that reminds me, it is my birthday month and my priority is my health. So I'm going to need to book I'll put that in the life admin. I want to book acupressure, I want to book acupuncture, and I want to book a massage and maybe even a facial. Luckily, I have insurance, so some of these things are covered, namely my therapy. So financially, at least, it makes it a little bit more affordable for me to be able to do these things. But I want to make a point of booking these appointments for myself, especially as a treat for my birthday, but also to set the tone for the vision that I wrote that my priority is my health. So things like acupressure help me, acupuncture, I'm going to try it to see if it helps me with my endometriosis or not. I think that I want to add visually, I think I want to add a little bit of gold washi tape here as well. So let's just go with it and not overthink it just because that's the 30th. So I don't want to, it's nice to visually see what month is not part of this, if it makes sense. This is October and this is December. So I visually like to kind of see what month is not part of it. I don't know, maybe it's useless, but I like it. So that's it. I think I'm going to leave the monthly spread at that. And now we can move on to the weekly spread. So I've shared this before. I like to do pages ahead of time. That way, every single week when I sit down and do my planning, it's very simple. So what I will do is that I will show you how I do one of the spreads and then I'll do the other ones off camera and just show you quickly. But I keep it very simple. I always use kind of the same format. So I think that I'm going to maybe do it a little different with the washi tape at the bottom instead of the top. So let me just see here how I'm going to do this. I actually think I'm just going to put in washi tape in different random spots just because that's how I'm feeling. And I like to switch it up just a little bit at times, and that's what feels inspiring to me right now. Why? That's just how it is. This is the part about creativity where I like to just try my best to allow to get inspired. And I think that's why I have a hard time with filming and doing my plan with me, because I like to get in a little bit of my own headspace to just focus on my own creativity and just have fun with it, not have to talk as I'm doing it. It's like a double-edged sword because part of me likes talking to you, then I get some feedback, you share with me what you like, didn't like, or even give like suggestions of things to do or ask questions, which I always love answering. But another part of me also just enjoys being in my own space. So it's fine. We are embracing the journey and learning. I also feel excited that my YouTube channel has been growing lately, which feels really rewarding. And I want to try and incorporate more of my goal setting process, because I think a lot of you actually have a lot of questions, especially when I share it on Instagram. So I think that's valuable for me to share with time. So now I think I'll just stick to the Mind Liner and add in my weekly to-do list. And then I usually go over that with a colored pen, but I don't have a blue one, which seems kind of weird that I wouldn't have a blue one. So let me just use the Pigma Micron pen, which I'm probably going to think it's too much of a contrast, but it's fine. And I go over and do a bit of calligraphy with it. I like the contrast of the caps in the color and then doing the full calligraphy like that. And then at the bottom, I like to leave a space for anything that comes up during the week, like a little brain dump space to write anything that I maybe want to get done that's not a priority or that I want to remember to do. So it's just like an extra little space for me to just put anything that comes up. Then I'm going to, instead of putting like for my checklist, I just do a little dot with the highlighter. As you can see, it's really not complicated. Like I've told you before, to make your pages aesthetic and cutesy, it does not have to be complex. Adding a bit of washi tape, a bit of color, using different pens really makes a big impact. So that's really it, that I'm going to leave the page as is. And I like to plan ahead and do the different pages ahead. So I'm going to go off camera and do the rest, and I will show you how they turn out. So my weekly pages are set up. Like I said, this helps me make the weekly planning process a lot easier because I just have to literally sit down, add my to-do list, add anything that's happening that week, and that's it. That's all. It takes me like 10 minutes. I do have a more detailed video of my weekly planning process as well. And I like to keep it simple and use the same theme throughout the weeks, throughout the days. So that means that for November, my two washi tape that I'm going to be using are this blue one that I got at Muji and this gold one that I've had for the longest time, a gray blue my liner as well as this Tombow blue highlighter with my black gel pen from Moisturum that I use all the time as well. It keeps the process a lot smoother and a lot more simple, and I don't have to overthink it. So the next thing that I'm going to do is create a life admin page, which is I want to find a way to use